subscribe and ring the bell.
But hey there, Suki. You walk right up to me. First day, and the fog is thick enough to chew on, but I'm building a cottage anyway. Wilson nods at my back, and I feel like I'm not alone in the dark. One day, I'll sail off this rock. Today is, regrettably, not that day. Hey there, Coco. It's your first day, and I'm grumbling at the fog while you hop near my cottage. Built a wall today. It keeps nothing out, but it makes the loneliness feel more organized. The rain hits the roof like tiny angry fists trying to get in. I remember the night I first saw that whale eye glowing green in the deep, dark water. It felt like someone was watching me sleep, waiting for me to dream up a story. I closed my eyes and imagined the cold water wrapping around my ankles as I drifted past the reef. Then the breath came again, slow and wet, like a friend sighing in the night. I am the only one who heard it, the only one who knows the song. Hey there, Suki! Those two foxes are chasing each other like they stole my last biscuit, even if they're just chasing their own tails. Lit the whole town tonight. From above it almost looks like somebody lives here. Somebody does. That's me. Rocky stares at my wet boots while the rain hammers the roof of my watchtower, turning every single block to gray sludge. Plan for today. Survive. Build something. Pretend the silence is peaceful. 2 out of 3 isn't bad. Wilson, if you're not going to help dig this tunnel, at least look impressed. The rain lashes the tower blocks, turning my grumbles into a chorus against the storm. Rain drums on the watchtower blocks like angry fingers tapping on my chest. First day's hunger whispers louder than the storm outside. Talking to myself again. Good muses, I always agree with me. Name the fox today. The fox does not know this, and the fox does not care. We're basically colleagues. Rain hammers the green plains like tiny fists trying to knock down my cottage walls. Wilson watches silently while I grumble about how the mud tastes like regret. This mud is holding me like a personal debt I never will pay. First day out here, the earth feels too heavy to let me go. I'd trade this entire island for a single sandal to kick myself out of this hole. Misha watches in silence while the rain turns my stubbornness into gray sludge. I am wedged deeper than the first shark, and the fog hides the truth of my terrible mistake. I vow to claw my way out before the sun finds me, even if Wilson has to laugh at my folly. Somewhere out there a kettle is boiling for somebody, and I hope they appreciate it. The fog swallows the cottage block I dropped, turning my morning labor into a gray ghost story. First day's hunger screams louder than the silence when Wilson stares back at nothing. Hey there, Momo. You're staring right at me, and your eyes are brighter than the fog that hides my cottage. A garden, flowers. We're practically fancy now. The island's coming up in the world. I remember that first walk along the coast when the wind screamed like a lost cousin trying to find me. Now I wonder if Wilson thinks the fog is just the ocean trying to hide its own secret. First light spills golden across the reef like melted honey on a cold spoon. Suki bleats softly, breaking the quiet while my cottage blocks stand like silent sentinels. Wilson, you're just a ball with a face, but somehow I feel like you're the only one who understands my grumbling. First day out here, and the island is finally starting to look like a home I made myself. The sun feels good, finally waking up the ground instead of letting it stay a heavy gray. Wilson watches the light while I plan my next block for the cottage that will hold my promise. Hey there, Suki! Your bleat cuts through the morning sun like a sharp whistle I forgot to blow. You're a sight for sore eyes, you fuzzy thing. First day of hunting, and I found a rabbit twitching its nose near my supplies. Storms rolling in. Perfect. Nothing says home like building a wall in the rain and pretending I'm fine. Last night I dreamt the island itself woke up with a voice like a creaking old door, whispering that it wanted a song before the sun could rise. I told it a tune made from the sound of my teeth aching when I pulled that rotten one out. A gritty, lonely melody that felt like the only thing I owned. The dream turned cold and hard like the reef, but I remember how it felt, a warm shiver running down my spine while the fog still clung to my coat. I woke up with that ache in my tooth and the taste of salt in my mouth, feeling suddenly very small against the vast gray. It was my first day, the very first, and I'm scrambling for shells while the dream lingers behind my eyes like a wet hand. Maybe tomorrow the island will sing back. Maybe Wilson will stop being just a ball. Maybe I'll find something to eat before my stomach turns to lead. A snail could outrun me right now, and I am wedged like a stubborn brick in my own grave. First day, first fight, and these giraffes are laughing at my pathetic struggle. Hello, Mr. Squirrel. The sun bleeds gold on the reef while I hammer blocks into a shelter against this first cold wind. Wilson rolls near my feet, a silent witness to my first real home. First sun hits the dunes while I gnaw at the last crust of bread. Wilson rolls under my boots like a silent stone. I wonder if this morning's warmth can melt the chill of my empty belly, or if... Papa, you big fluffy rug with the mane, staring right into my wet eyes while I count the notches on the rock. Wilson says I should run, but I think you're just the island's first reel. Raining hard while I try to hammer a roof that will never catch the sun. Wilson watches the gray wash over the wet blocks. First day is just a number until you fill your belly with something real. Caught myself humming a song I can't name. The island steals my memories one tune at a time. Rain hammers the wet gray blocks while my stomach grumbles louder than the storm itself. First day means no food, and Wilson is rolling in the mud like a muddy coin. GRR, the grumpy fog is hiding a fox with a tail too big for a first day hunt. First day's fog tastes like old salt, and the cottage blocks look like they're crying. Wilson rolls by my boots while I wonder if the island will ever let me leave. Bella, you big boar with a bristly back. You stare so hard I think you want to borrow Wilson's silence for a while. It is my first day, and you have just decided you own the spot. Hey there, Luna. You look like a king in a tuxedo made of mane, staring down at my grumpy first day. The thick fog swallows the dunes like a wet blanket while my stomach growls for breakfast. I hope the fox hasn't stolen the last berry from the vine yet again. Found a flat patch of ground and nearly wept. You don't know luxury until you've lived on a slope. This island hands me sunsets for free and charges me everything in company. Grumpy sun beats down on my grumbling stomach while I hunt for food. Hey there, Coco. Day 40-something. Built a watchtower to spot rescue ships. Spotted. 0 ships. 1 very smug seagull. Last night I dreamed I was writing a message in a bottle, sitting at my porch table with the sun already high. I spent the whole night agonizing over the very first line, thinking about how to make it sound perfect. I kept crossing out words like they were trying to steal my own heart. Finally, I got it right, and sealed it up with a knot that held tight against the water. But when I woke up this morning, the dream was gone and all that was left was the cold stone floor and my grumbling stomach. Now I'm out hunting for food on this very first day, trying to find something to stop the noise in my head. Every plank I had to carve by hand. This whole place is built on pure stubbornness. The rain makes the water rise higher than the moon's pull, and Wilson rolls under my feet while I hunt. First day's hunt feels like fighting a tide that refuses to stay still. Milo, you massive mud bag, you are wedged in there like a rogue plank in my raft. Grumble, grumble, Milo, I will dig you out before I dig the roots of this island. Three hours ago, I wrestled that tangle of fishing net until Periwinkle tugged loose strands as if offering her own help. The afternoon air smelled of wet rope and salt while Periwinkle stood 2 feet away, watching my frantic hands untie knots that seemed to multiply. Now the gray rain falls on my bare arms as I count the net's loops, feeling the island's weight settle deeper on my bones. First day feels like the island swallowed my clock and left me with only this gray gloom. Wilson, you silent ball, would you dare laugh if I found a crust of bread? Misha, you magnificent beast with a mane like spun gold, I hope your hunger is easier than mine. The fog hides my cottage while I hunt, making this first day feel like a cold war. Hey there, Coco. Your stripes stand out like beacons in this thick fog, though my stomach.
Subscribe and ring the bell.